Hello, people of the internet. Today I'll be going over Errico Malatesta's The Idea of Good Government, written in 1920. The main idea of this essay is asking the question, if mankind is too imperfect for freedom, then how can we trust mankind with authority? Let's begin. I will be breaking down these paragraphs in this essay in an unscripted manner, so it's kind of there's gonna be mistakes. That's okay, hopefully. And I will be essentially going over what I believe that what these paragraphs mean. None can judge with certainty who is right and who is wrong, who is nearest the truth, or which is the best way to achieve the greatest good for each and everyone. Freedom, coupled with experience, is the only way of discovering the truth and what is best, and there can be no freedom if there is a denial of the freedom to err. Freedom to err meaning the freedom to make a mistake. Error being an old term used for to make an error or to make a mistake, a mishap, etc. We learn from those mistakes. We obtain wisdom through them. But when one talks of freedom politically and not philosophically, nobody thinks of the metaphysical bogey of abstract man who exists outside the cosmic and social environment and who, like some god, could do what he wishes in the absolute sense of the word. We're not talking about a metaphysical kind of being able to do anything with breaking the laws of physics and so on and so forth. When one talks of freedom, one is speaking of a society in which no one could constrain his fellow beings without meeting with vigorous resistance, in which, above all, nobody could seize and use the collective force to impose wishes on others and on the very groups which are the source of power. Essentially, what that means is that we are trying to create a society where we are all free from coercion. Errico Malatesta, being an anarcho-communist, he wants to free society from all forms of authority, all class, the state, and all hierarchy, or at least all unjust hierarchy, for example, capitalism. Man is not perfect, agreed. But this is one more reason, perhaps the strongest reason, for not giving anyone the means to put the brakes on individual freedom. True! This is absolutely true. If we, as people, cannot trust people with freedom, if we can't trust individuals with freedom, then how can we trust them to have authority over others? I mean, after all, we have politicians who claim that they're leading to make society better, and yet for some reason they don't. They end up making the world worse, and why? Well, for their own power, for gains. We can say the same thing about capitalists. They don't care about people, they care about making money. So they also end up making the world worse by exploiting people who are in need of work, by exploiting people and alienating them from each other, all for the sake of profits. It's all about profits. It's all about obtaining more power. This actually coincides with the fact that there have been studies that show that once people obtain more power and money, they become less empathetic. So tell me then, why should we even allow societies to create authoritarian structures? Why should we have authoritarian structures at all? We shouldn't. They are harmful inherently. Man is not perfect, but then where will one also find men who are not only good enough to live at peace with others, but also capable of controlling the lives of others in an authoritarian way? and assuming that there were, who would appoint them? Would they impose themselves? But who would protect them from the resistance and the violence of the criminals? Or would they be chosen by the sovereign people, one which is considered too ignorant and too wicked to live in peace, but which suddenly acquires all the necessary good qualities when it is a question of asking who is to choose its rulers? Essentially, so we can't trust authority figures to be good because humans are imperfect. We can't trust authority figures to do the right thing because humanity is imperfect. And yet, at the same time, we can also somehow trust people to appoint leaders. I don't see how this can be possible if people are imperfect. Because if people are imperfect, then how can we trust people to choose leaders? We can't. So we might as well just not have leaders, or at least not have a monopoly on leadership. A lot of anarchist societies believe in the idea of electing a delegate to lead in a certain task, but that delegate is also recallable at any time. That is fair. Also, the idea that they're recallable at any time makes it so that they are also supposed to be held to a level of accountability. It also means that because of the fact that they can be recalled at any time, there is also no monopoly on governance, that people can all govern themselves, that society is free to live its own life, and that we can decide what's best for us, that we can decide to cooperate of our own will. That's the essence of anarchism. To cooperate without any kind of coercion. To lead ourselves only in such a way that it doesn't impose our freedom or our desires onto others. Only in that we, as a society, can truly be free only if we do not allow anyone to have a monopoly on governance, or as Max Weber would refer to as the state, the institution that holds the monopoly on the legitimate use of violence in a given territory. Anarchists want to eliminate both the state, and they want to eliminate anything that aims to coerce anyone. That also includes capitalism. Much like Errico Malatesta, he was an anarcho-communist. Now, what communism means to him is a classless, stateless, moneyless society. That's what we anarchists want. A classless, stateless society in which all are free to associate as they please, and all are free from anything that aims to take power from the people and put it in the hands of a few. That is all. I will leave a link to this in the description. I know that's a bit redundant, but why not? Later.